Hey folks, here's another video response to Mike, CapriciousBlackBox. This is my response to his response. Link in the description box, which will bring you to my, you can follow it back if you're interested, if you don't know what's going on. So Mike is responding here, and let's see what he has to say.
If I'm guilty of anything there, it's not paying close enough attention to Matthew Steele's question, because I honestly did not hear him say, what's the most moral evil act that you could do? I didn't really internalize that part.
So that was the question. Matthew Steele asked it over and over again. So Mike, you immediately jumped to depositing a supernatural being that had capabilities of torturing people for eternity, way off base. And you got to ask yourself, why did you do that? Why didn't you listen and hear it, but you immediately went to some entity who's able to torture people forever? I think you're thinking, my assumption is that you are thinking a lot about eternity, and you have some knowledge of what is in store for folks, and you can't stop thinking about it. Now, that's my opinion. Now, in light of the fact that you do understand Matthew Steele's video, you've got almost 7 minutes left in this video, and you don't move on to answer Matthew Steele's original video question. Actually, I didn't see anybody who answered the question video form. So maybe you'll be coming out with another video to answer Matthew Steele's original question. But instead of doing that, you go on to justify your hatred for God.
I'll tell you something. If that is my end, and I was earmarked before I was born to be a child of wrath, yeah, I'd probably be filled with hate about that, and I think I'd be justified.
So I do recognize that you're claiming you don't believe this, and you say it shortly after that. But I think there's a lot of truth to this statement, Mike. I think, like I said, I think you think about it a lot, and that's good. It's good. You're receiving a lot of truth, and you're contemplating your future and what's going to happen next. And I think that that's important. And there was another portion of this video I wanted to play.
I think in any other instance, Tim and I would probably get along just fine. I don't think he's a bad person, and I don't think he thinks I'm a bad person.
Now, one thing you're right about, we probably would get along. We'd probably get along just fine. But, Mike, I don't think you're a good person. I think that you're a bad person. And that's not an indictment to say that I'm any better than you. I'm just as bad. We're bad people. And we all know that we make poor choices. We all know that we break God's law. We all know that we sin. In the beginning of this video, you expressed guilt. Well, you said if you were guilty of anything. We all have an innate sense of morality given to us by God. And that is one of the evidences in all people's life that we all do know that God exists, because you don't get right and wrong, good and bad, from chemical reactions. There's more going on here, and every healthy person knows that. And Mike, I believe that you know that you're guilty, and you will be judged one day. And God is justified in sending you to hell. God would be completely justified in sending me to hell. We all deserve to go to hell because we are bad people. We all deserve his wrath. Not one of us deserves his grace and mercy, but he offers it to some. And it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're wondering if you're elect or not elect, God calls you to repent, to admit that you're a sinner, to turn to Christ, ask for forgiveness, recognize the work that he did in his life, death, burial, and resurrection for the forgiveness of sins, to become reconciled to our Creator. So, Mike, no, you're not a good person. I'm not a good person. Nobody is. And although we can all point to other people who are worse than us, we all stand guilty before a holy, righteous judge who will pour out his wrath on those that don't repent. And for eternity, he will receive glory as his wrath is poured out on wicked people. Something that we all deserve. So, I had one more clip I wanted to play here. I think this is also it's a good question. It's a good thing that you put forth here. It really shows what's going on in your thought process.
We could just burn the Bible thumbing wingnut for a week or so and just see if he has any hate.
So Mike is suggesting an experiment where atheists burn me and see what my response would be. Well, Mike, I don't know what my response would be, but I would hope that God would grant me what he granted Stephen when he was being stoned, when Stephen was being persecuted, and some of the reformers, when they were burned at the stake, they prayed and they preached and they asked God to forgive those that were persecuting them. And I don't know that I'm in a position in my life where that would be true of me, but maybe God would grant me that. Maybe God would give me the grace to endure persecution from atheists like you, Mike. I don't know. That would be my hope. My hope also, Mike, is that you would repent, that you would turn to Christ and be saved.